Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. As every year, towards the end, I like making a review summing up everything that has happened around the channel during the year. The last 2 year in review videos for 2020 and 2021 were bitter. 2020, still in pandemic, I had the chance to travel at the beginning of the year before the outbreak, but towards the end of the year, the idea of being back in the air seemed like something very far away. In 2021, I did not have the chance to step on a plane, but towards the end of the year, when I made the year-end video, the situation was already considerably better and already had some plans for 2022. Finally, it happened. This year got me back in the skies after almost 2 years. 3 trips, including 2 long-haul and 1 domestic in Argentina, all featured in the channel. This has been among the most traveled years for me until now. My aviation year started in February, when I finally had the chance to travel to the United Kingdom with my school. Having already graduated in December 2021, this was the last opportunity for us to make this trip, which was originally scheduled for April 2020. In case it did not happen this February, the dream would have been over. But luckily, the conditions were finally given and we went on what was one of the most memorable trips I'll probably ever have. Of course, the memories of this trip will not lie in the flights or airports, but even in that regard, it was a really interesting one. I had the chance to fly the Airbus A350 for the first time, and I loved it. I also flew a Neo family aircraft for the first time, with the A320neo flight up to Edinburgh. And overall, it was my first time in the United Kingdom, and what an experience it was. Aviation-wise, I loved Heathrow's Terminal 5 from where BA operates, and the experience with British Airways was also very good. In terms of channel content, it was the biggest trip of the channel this year, bringing it back to positive numbers after 2 complicated years. Right after my arrival from the UK, more specifically 2 days after, I stepped on a plane once again for a trip with my family. It was the first time with them after 2 years as well. We went to Bariloche in the south of Argentina for a week. Even though I was still a bit emotional about the previous trip, it was so nice to finally travel with my family again. This might not seem like the most interesting trip when thinking about planes and airports, but it went much better than I expected. It gave me the chance to fly what are, in my opinion, the 2 most interesting aircraft in the Aerolíneas Argentinas fleet. I was scheduled to fly the A330 both inbound and outbound, but in the return flight, it was changed last minute to a 737 MAX 8, which certainly made the content of this trip much better. I also hadn't flown any of the 2 aircraft types before as far as I can remember, so adding 2 new aircraft types to the list on a domestic trip in Argentina is not bad at all. Finally, it was over 3 months after, in the final days of July, that I went on what was my last trip of the year. It was long haul again, but this time, back with the family. This trip did not feature new aircraft types as the previous ones, but it did feature a new airline for me. We flew the whole itinerary with United, giving me the chance to fly another of the big 3 US airlines. We flew to LaGuardia via Houston, and then from Newark to Buenos Aires via Houston again to return home. Even though I had the chance to fly it multiple times before, flying the 777 is always a treat. We spent 2 weeks in New York, but we used that time to make a day getaway to Philadelphia and to visit Boston for a few days as well. That way, I also got to visit some new places. Towards the last few weeks, I had a few issues which did not let me finish with this trip's content, but I certainly will over the next few weeks. Stay tuned for the videos to come. We arrived back in Argentina on August 8th, and since then, I have not had the chance to travel again. However, it has been a very special year for the channel, getting back to rhythm after 2 tough years, with the best quality content I've ever done so far. Also, I hit a big milestone reaching the 1000 subscriber mark, which was a great joy after a lot of videos done over 4 years. I would like to use this moment as well to let you guys know about what is coming next year in the channel. At the exact moment of making this video, there are still no confirmed trips, but there is one that is very likely to happen during early March. It is likely to feature a new airline and aircraft type, so it's definitely one to look forward to. I am very happy to have this trip as a plan, but traveling is getting a lot more difficult these days. Not only due to the situation in Argentina and the airfares, which are extremely high, still recovering from the pandemic, but because of my personal situation. I started university this year, which means my holiday availability is very restricted to the dates when prices are the worst. This means that I might have to give up on certain plans in the future, which may restrict my content a bit. But let's not talk in advance and wait to see what's in store. For now, let's just celebrate this year and look forward to the plans for the next one. Before I wrap up this video, I would like to thank you guys very much for your support throughout this year. It's been wonderful to see the channel finally growing again, hitting some big milestones. I will do my best to keep the content coming for next year and hopefully keep improving it trip by trip. This being it for this 2022 year in review video, thank you very much for watching until the end if you've made it to this point. Appreciate your support very much. Wish you all a happy new year and a great 2023, and I'll be back next week finishing with the content from my 2022 United States trip. On to the next one.